Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. A transient and illegal alien from Mexico is being accused of operating a rape dungeon on wheels. Eduardo Sarabia is facing only one rape count and one forced oral copulation count, though investigators have identified at least 2 victims and believe there are still more out there. Essentially, the 40-year-old is accused of luring women into his van, which had no windows and was outfitted for sexual gratification, where he would drive them to a secluded area of the San Gabriel Mountains to force himself onto them. One known incident occurred on May 12th of this year, and the next, the following night, the 13th. Though again, authorities believe this man's alleged rape spree didn't just start then and likely includes many other victims. It bears repeating that America has enough homegrown rapists that we don't need to be importing more and then footing the bill for them to boot. Just like we have enough homegrown terrorists that we don't need to be importing more. Last week, while military historian Victor Davis Hanson joined me, we discussed the 2 Jordanian nationals who had just recently crossed the U.S. southern border and who were already being arrested for allegedly trying to break into the Quantico Marine Corps base, where the FBI has its training academy in Virginia. Authorities have neither confirmed nor denied what local news is reporting, that at least one of those suspects is on the terror watch list. Former Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill, the one who claims responsibility for killing Osama bin Laden, told the New York Post that that incident reminds him of an ISIS or Al-Qaeda dry run to see how far they can penetrate into the interior of the country by exploiting the border crisis. Our next guest tonight has written an entire expose on exactly this clear and present danger. So join us now to discuss is a former senior law enforcement advisor to the Secretary of Homeland Security, Charles Marino, whose new book, Terrorists on the Border and in Our Country, hit bookshelves on the 14th. Charles, thanks for being here tonight.
Great to be with you, Kara.
Great. So first, can you tell us which Homeland Security Secretary you served under? For some reason, I don't think it may have been Alejandro Mayorkas.
It was not, although I did work with him at the department at the same time when he was the director of citizenship and immigration. I worked under Secretary Janet Napolitano, who was the former governor of Arizona.
So between then and now, has the situation at the border when it comes to terrorists, potential terrorists coming through and exploiting the southern border, has it gotten exponentially worse?
Oh, it's deteriorated beyond recognition. Look, my book points to both Democrat and Republican presidents that have taken border security seriously. We may not have agreed with the programs or the way that they went about it, but it was always top of their national security strategies. This administration is unprecedented in the manner in which they have completely abandoned their federal responsibilities of protecting the country by securing the border and enforcing the immigration laws.
You know, I think it was even under Bill Clinton back in the 90s. I think he appointed Congresswoman, I believe, Barbara Jordan to look into immigration. She was the one saying, you know, common sense immigration policy should be that those who, you know, should be getting in, get in, and those who shouldn't be getting in, shouldn't get in. And at the time, like you said, everyone goes, yeah, that sounds normal. That sounds like something a country should have full control over. And now, you know, the Democrats today saying that would be completely canceled by their own side. So, you know, obviously the DHS, the secretary, current secretary, and the rest today, I'm sure they get these numbers, right? They see the data themselves. Does it make it that much worse that they allow the border to persist as open as it currently is, even despite seeing the raw data itself?
But what makes this really bad is the fact of why the Department of Homeland Security was created. It was created because of the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, and was created in 2002 under the Homeland Security Act. So essentially now, as the book highlights, we have a war at government. We have a government at war, rather, with the agencies that report up to it that are tasked with protecting the country. So the policies that the Department of Homeland Security are implementing directly undercuts agencies like Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the DEA, the FBI, and the list goes on and on.